How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dag908, aka the Dig Dugger himself, and Duggers and Digettes, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I almost called it Monster Hunter World. Second there. Anyway, today we're going to be fighting the Daimyo Hermitaur, which is honestly one of the few crustacean, that's the word, the few crustacean monsters in all of Monster Hunter. It's him and then his homie, and then there's a deviant somewhere later on that we'll talk about in a much later date. But from what it is, we're gonna fight the Daimyo Hermitaur here today. He's not a very tough fight. Well, yeah, he's not really a tough fight. He's just a very defensive type of monster. That's one thing I should totally point out to you guys off the cuff. But speaking about things off the cuff, in this video, I make a mistake when it comes to me fighting this monster. The Daimyo Hermitaur does actually dig underground. He will come up and chase you. He'll chase you and attack you 4 to 5 times, and on the last time he'll come up and then you can fight him once he comes out the ground. But what you can't do is you can't get him out the ground. I foolishly threw a sonic bomb and thought that was the means in which I can get him on the ground, and truth be told, that's not the case. I totally forgot. What the sonic bomb is actually for is when he uses his claws to shield his face, you can throw the sonic bomb then, and then it'll disrupt him and he'll fall over and you can go in for some hits, because you will leave him quite vulnerable. So remember that off the cuff. That's what the sonic bombs are for. Whenever he goes to shield his face with his hand, throw the sonic bomb, boom, he just kind of like, it's like, oh no, I'm disoriented, and you get to beat him up. But yeah, that's that. Now, he can also jump, which you already seen him do. He'll jump high in the sky. He doesn't really track you when he jumps. He just kind of jumps. So if you have Brave, much like I have Brave, you can just Brave and be out of the way from that. One of the things that he really does excel at is his defense. He has this huge, massive, I think monoblow shell is what it's called. He has this huge monoblow shell on his back, and he will use that in a multitude of ways to just kind of protect himself, use it to attack if you stand behind him for too long, things like that. So he's a very, like I said, he's very defensive, due in part that he's kind of hard to hit the squishy bits. So yeah, that's what kind of makes him a bit of a tough fight, because you have to focus primarily smack in the face, because there's not many good spots to actually hit him on, because his head and his torso is probably they are his weakest spots to actually hit him. So if you're going to do the best of the damage, try to hit him in the face. Go through the arms, hit him smack in the face, hit him in the stomach, that kind of thing. If you're going to do that, however, I suggest you kind of go in there with a little bit of fire and or thunder. Those are the two elemental weaknesses he has the greatest damage being dealt to his body with. So that way you can, understand what it takes to hit him hard, and hit him hard with what. So there you go. That's what you have. One last move I want to talk about. He has this little bubble beam. I'm gonna call it the bubble beam because I'm deep into Pokemon like that, but it's like a water jet regardless. He'll hit you with it and you'll be hit with water blight. He doesn't actually use it super often, but just know that it's kind of a thing. What he'll do sometimes is he'll dig, and then he'll wake up in the ground far away from you, and then he'll immediately do the little bubble beam thing, or the water jet thing, whatever you want to call it. So he kind of sets up a long range attack for you when he thinks he has you like figured out or confused or whatever. So it's kind of a thing the AI likes to do, to kind of think they have a head up on you. Nibble Snarf does the same thing, but we'll talk about him later. Anyway, now it's armor. His armor speaks to me as a Lancer. His armor literally gives you guard and defense up small, and those are the only two skills it really gives. I think it gives a negative to attack, but truth be told, if that's the case, then you know what to do. Just don't use it. Actually, no, it gives you like 9. It gives you like -9 on attack. So if you use Lance, or you're user of Gun Lance, or maybe even, I don't know, Charge Plate or something, it's gonna be the first armor set in the game to give you guard. So there you have it. It's pivotal to me. I'm using it right now actually, because I love to use guard with my lancing sets. So it's just a win-win for me. Now his weapons are fairly decent all the way across the bill. All of his weapons are pretty decent. The only issue though is, as it stands right now, as the game is playing, I would recommend continue using your own stuff, because you can only upgrade it, or you can only make it. Upgrading it once will have you actually at least have to fight the Shogun Centaur, and that's a bit of ways from here, because he debuts in the volcano, and we're not close to the volcano, not yet anyway. So I mean, you can kind of use his weapons. They have a pretty decent amount of sharpness. The attack isn't the best on it. It's kind of average attack. It does give you a defensive boost and an affinity boost, so I think that's where that really stems into the usefulness of the weapon, the fact that it gives you boost in those two regards. But It does have decent stats, and I mean, I guess it's okay to actually use if you do come across it. So, with that being said, let's go over this one last time. The Daimyo Hermitaur has a plethora of attacks. Some of these are very watch-outable. Like he has his attack where he'll open his arms up nice and wide, looks like he's gonna give you a hug. Thing is, that's one of his hardest thing to attack, so don't get hit with that. He has the water jet that he likes to throw out every now and then. He also has this scuttly, walky, slashy thing. Like he'll scuttle over to you because like that's what crabs do, and he'll swipe at you really quickly with his hand. That moves really quick. It can be armored through with a couple attacks, but it will leave you knocked down if you're not doing an attack that has armor on it. It'll knock on your butt at least. But outside of that, he does have this jump attack. He will also use the horn on his back to attack if you stand behind him for too long. He will shield his face so that way you can't actually penetrate his body at all, like at all. No matter what, if he throws his hands up, no matter where you hit him on his body, you will bounce. That's just kind of how it works. Again, if you have a weapon that has like natural mind's eye or mind's eye itself, you can still go through it. But that's that. His weaknesses are the fire and the thunder. And if you hit him in his head or his torso, you'll do the most damage when applying those particular elements. His armor is very decent for those of us who actually use guard for weapons, or just want a defensive kind of armor that actually has defense on it. It's a very decent armor set to actually use right here. His weapons, they're pretty a-okay, but they're not like super nice. So if you have something that already has like about 100 attack, just stay with whatever you have that has 100 attack, because his stuff doesn't go at least 100 or over that until a little bit later in the game. And I would actually recommend you guys just go with what you already have that's actually really good, because go with what is nice right now. You can get the dope stuff later. Anyway, with that being said, everyone, that's pretty much all I can really say about the Hermitaur. There's not really much. He's not too totally difficult. He is a very defensive monster. Watch out for some of his very varied attacks as opposed to all the other monsters you fought before, and you should do fairly fine. Right now, I like to think that some of you guys have actually picked up quite a few bits of tips and tricks, not just from me but from other people, and you kind of became comfortable with how you actually play the game, so you kind of have a strong feeling of what it takes to actually combat some of these monsters, because it's not necessarily coming to you 100% right now, but you're getting the hang of it. Those of us coming from World, you should kind of get that by now, and those of you who are brand new to the series, right around now you should start to really what I like to call as feeling yourself, because you made it this far. There's not too much the game could throw at you that will really throw you off your game until you get to the Rathian. But that's a monster for a different day. But with that being said, everyone, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Again, guys, thanks so much for your support. I love the fact that I'm actually making tons of videos again, and you guys are giving me the love that I feel is needed to make me want to feel like continue doing this. So with that being said, thank you so much again, and I will talk to y'all later on the next video. Peace.